Hi sweeties, how are you doing? Welcome to Naya Sim. If this is your first time of coming across this channel, sweetheart, kindly smash that subscribe button and turn your notifications so you are notified each time I upload. And please give this video a thumb up. I appreciate you all so much, and I am saying a very big shout out to every one of you for all the love and support you all shower me here with. I am super grateful and you are super sweet. Thank you so much. So today it's another important video. And before we get into this video, I am going to say that if you have kids in Florida, I think the best way is to bring your kids back home, because like each day we wake up, we are waking up to some horrifying things. And one thing I noticed about America is when a particular state signs something, right, and it works for them, it moves to another state, and from there it keeps circulating. Like as it stands right now, they just do not want anything about Black history. They just want to, like, let go of anything that got to do with Black history. Actually, they already said that Black history is violence, right? And they are really doing everything in their power to completely change everything. Right now, Florida has now signed up PragerU for students. And what is this talking about? Their videos are based on PragerU curriculum, right? And the videos also are filled with things like the denial of systemic racism. So what their videos are talking about are that there was nothing like systemic racism, and that if you hear anyone saying anything about systemic racism, that it is not true. And the videos, you see them also that they are going to be teaching your kids, and the rest of it are horrifying. They are not what kids should learn. So I am urging parents, if you are in Florida and some other states, I think the best thing to do is homeschooling, because I don't see how kids are going to consume all this. I mean, it is way, 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 way horrifying. And you know what? I'm just going to roll this clip. We'll come back to talk about it. And I absolutely want to read all your comments. Let me know what you all think in the comment section. So here we go.
So Florida just approved super conservative, practically propaganda PragerU curriculum for public schools. I'm going to show you some of the existing PragerU kids videos that completely rewrite history. In this video, two kids are confused about whether or not to call it Columbus Day or Indigenous Peoples Day. So they go back in time to meet Christopher Columbus to find out if he's a bad guy. Columbus justifies his brutality.
The place I discovered was beautiful, but it wasn't exactly a paradise of civilization, and the native people were far from peaceful.
Oh, please, tell me more.
The Taino I had met had cuts and scars and bruises all over them. I asked why, and they told me about the Caribs, who are vicious, warring cannibals.
Historians have long said that Columbus's claims that these savage man-eaters were terrorizing the Caribbean is foolish malarkey. But then there's also this gem about the enslavement of indigenous people.
Well, in our time, we view slavery as being evil and terrible.
Ah, magnifico, that's wonderful. I'm glad humanity has reached such a time. But you said you're from 500 years in the future? How can you come here to the 15th century and judge me by your standards from the 21st century?
This idea that Columbus, colonizers, and slaveholders didn't know that slavery was cruel is insane. They knew it was wrong, they just didn't care. But next we have this reimagined Booker T. Washington.
We're really sorry that you have to deal with segregation and racism.
Your sympathy is nice, Layla, but know that you have nothing to be sorry about. Future generations are never responsible for the sins of the past.
Okay, I'll keep doing my best to treat everyone well and won't feel guilty about historical stuff.
So there's that. In this episode, Booker T. Washington glosses over the Civil War and makes it seem as if chattel slavery ended because the entirety of the country realized it was wrong. This video also claims that the U.S. was one of the first places to outlaw slavery, which is a flat-out lie. They also drop in the irresponsible Black dad stereotype.
I never knew anything about my father.
Because of slavery. You didn't know your father because of slavery. PragerU is a right-wing think tank, and these videos are not surprising when you look at who the founder of PragerU is, Dennis Prager. In 2013, he said that Matthew Shepard's murder was not an anti-gay hate crime, but lies to advance progressives. He also said women should have sex with their husbands even if they don't want to.
It's an important thing to him, so give it a try.
And my personal favorite,
The left has made it impossible to say the N-word any longer. That's disgusting. It's a farce. It's the only word that you can't say in the English language.
how horrible that he cannot use the N-word. Life is so unfair.
Straight facts, no chaser. You guys want to see the guy behind all of this destruction of African American history? It's one Dennis Prager, the owner of PragerU. Yeah, he's out here helping the Florida curriculum learn about African people or African American people or black, whatever you want to be called. Some pasty white dude is teaching us about our history. I can read, no thank you. I can learn on my own, no thank you. Plus, I graduated from a school that was ranked 241. You graduated from a school that's ranked 871. Yeah, I think I can teach myself better than you could ever teach me about my people. I speak facts, straight facts, no chaser. Fuck your feelings.
I am speechless. Florida approves use of conservative content from PragerU in schools. I decided to take a look, and I'm horrified. Here's some educational material that's been approved to be shown in schools. Here's one about women.
One of the most beautiful things God has created is a woman's smile. It can fill a room with energy and joy. Just try smiling and see how it affects the people around you. Don't be a crusty old man. There's nothing feminine about that.
Adam Sandler, what are you doing here?
Learn how to engage with others and bring joy to people around you. Be positive and look for the beauty in life. Appreciate creativity and aesthetics. Embrace your artistic side and the joy of making things beautiful. Make your house a home. And along the way, stay grateful and encouraging.
You gotta be fucking kidding me. I want to make it perfectly clear that PragerU is not an accredited educational institution. It is right-wing conservative propaganda that includes videos like this. Is touching black people's hair a microaggression? I'm gonna let you figure out what her answer is. But let's get back to the femininity video.
Make yourself pretty. Master the art of makeup. Practice good hygiene. Don't buy all the things that smell good and create a torpedo of fragrance. If you want to wear high heels, go for it. Just practice walking before getting close to any ledges. Embrace the idea of being a wife or a mother.
Don't let the modern look of the video fool you. That's all straight out of the 1950s Stepford Wife Leave It to Beaver handbook. So they create this narrative that a group of people you may not like and trick you into thinking that they're grooming your children so you can get mad and attack these groups and then use that as the opportunity to do the actual grooming. So the left says be any woman you want to be, and that's a problem. The right says this is the woman you should be, and that's okay. They made women feel like they're under attack so they can actually attack you. And you fucking idiots don't see that. And now this is what little girls are being taught in school. Not that you can do anything and be anything you want. This is what you should be. And it's teaching little boys that this is what they should expect from girls. Well, according to that video, I should be grateful and encouraging. Well, I'm grateful I don't have my child in Florida. And I'm encouraging you all to vote these fascists out. I can't believe this is 2023.
Welcome to a Florida Minute, where I give you, just around a minute of the news you missed this morning, because very much something always happening in the Sunshine State. So let's just talk about it. The Florida Department of Education approved content from the conservative nonprofit PragerU for use in schools. Department spokesperson Cassandra Pillay told the News Service of Florida the material aligns to civics and government standards. Renee O'Connor teaches African American history in Miami.
Politics has no place in education. It should only be 100% about teaching the absolute truth through use of primary sources, through use of statistics, through use of timelines.
On its website, the company states it's a, quote, free alternative to the dominant left-wing ideology in culture, media, and education. Marvin Dunn is a professor at Florida International University.
I think that this is an effort to impose Judeo-Christian principles on the state. It is no surprise that this is happening in Florida first, but it's also poison that I think is going to seep into other systems around this country.
PragerU's videos and lessons cover topics ranging from historical events and figures to environmental issues. Individual school districts will have discretion over whether teachers are allowed to use the materials. That's all the news I have for you. Remember to tune in throughout the week, and if you want more news, click the link in my bio.
In the past 48 hours, it has been brought to my attention by the Tampa Bay Times that the Florida Department of Education is now including materials for our public schools from Prager University, which is a right-wing religious propaganda machine for children. Don't believe me? You can go over to the Tampa Bay Times and read about it for yourself. Now, as a parent of not one, not two, but 3 children in the Florida public school system, there is no way on earth that I want my children or believe my children should be exposed to anything from PragerU while in school. Their religious indoctrination propaganda is offensive, and I am now looking for an attorney in Florida who will help me file a lawsuit against the Florida Department of Education to have these materials removed from school curriculums across the state of Florida. If you are a parent in the state of Florida who would like to join this lawsuit, this class action suit that could possibly come about, I encourage you to comment here and share this as well. If you have any legal resources in this avenue, please point them in my direction. I have contacted 2 separate attorneys, including the Florida ACLU at this point in time. I do not know where else to start, but I'm sure that this platform I have here will be extremely helpful. If you are here in Florida and would like to get involved in removing PragerU materials from public school curriculums, please get involved.
Oh my God, this can't be real. Florida has okayed the use of curriculum by Prager University. Yes, the ultra-right-wing propagandist YouTube channel, PragerU. The same ones that have brought you such hits such as The War on Boys, The War on Christmas, and literally every awful racist take that you hear regurgitated in the news by the right. Could you imagine for a minute the heads that would explode if, like, Planned Parenthood's curriculum was in fucking schools? Or, like, if suddenly Karl Marx was being taught to fucking 6th graders? Republicans riot if a teacher even mentions Black Lives Matter, and now they're out here literally putting propaganda as curriculum. America's just the bad place. There's no getting around it at this point. And the capital of the bad place is fucking Florida.
Why isn't anyone talking about the fact that Florida just approved of Prager University to be taught from K through 12 schools? PragerU is a conservative, unaccredited, nonprofit organization known for spewing anti-immigration BS and downplaying systemic racism, amongst many other things that I don't have the time to go through. Florida is the only state in the whole entire United States that allows K through 12 schools to teach Prager University. That's how bad it is. On Prager University's website, it says it offers free alternative to the dominant left-wing ideology in culture, media, and education. They also say, we have seen that our schools have been hijacked by the left. It's going to be up to each school district on whether they want to utilize Prager University or not. But at this rate, the children of Florida... their education that they're going to be getting in the next 20 years is going to be all jacked up.
Florida just approved the use of right-wing propaganda videos in public schools. The videos are based on far-right PragerU's curriculum and are filled with things like the denial of systemic racism and are based on evangelical Christian ideology. Check some of them out.
Despite our nation not always living up to our declaration that all men are created equal, I am still so proud and thankful to be an American.
Even though you were a slave?
Exactly, because I was, and not anymore. America was one of the first places on earth to outlaw slavery. And
America was one of the last places to outlaw slavery.
I'm sorry, Mr. Columbus, but I heard at school that you spoiled paradise and you brought slavery and murder to peaceful people.
Leo?
Sorry, it's what I read and heard at school.
Caramba! Those are some accusations. The place I discovered was beautiful, but it wasn't exactly a paradise of civilization, and the native people were far from peaceful.
Justifying violence against indigenous people?
I'm not like other girls. I just find being girly so cliche. But don't you think men are toxic? Oh yeah. Then why are you trying to be like one? Things are getting confusing, but you as a woman do not have to get caught up in the frenzy. Most gender stereotypes exist because they reflect the way that men and women are naturally different. And those differences aren't bad. Men and women complement each other and create a well-balanced family and community. So don't let anyone tell you it's bad to fit stereotypes.
So the party that is lying about public schools indoctrinating kids wants to indoctrinate kids.
We have seen that our schools have been hijacked by the left. They have been politicized. They have been used by union bosses. They have been doing everything under the sun, not for our children. And so we have launched PragerU Kids, and we started providing great educational entertainment for children across America.
These were just a few of the videos that are part of this PragerU curriculum. I encourage you to go watch some of them. They're on YouTube. And this curriculum represents the far-right ideology of its founder, Dennis Prager, who famously said this on Fox News.
To a woman, if you love your husband and he is a good man, then don't let mood alone determine whether or not you'll have sex with him, because it's an important thing to him. So give it a try. Okay? I don't want to jump in, but
And Florida is just the beginning. PragerU wants to indoctrinate and teach their far-right evangelical Christian revisionist history all across the country.
We're just getting started. Additional states are signing up.
If you want to learn more about this, there's a great article on MediaMatters.org written by John Neffel. Give him a follow on Twitter and read the article, as it provides a deeper dive into the lessons that Florida public schools will be teaching kids. The videos are based on far-right PragerU's curriculum.
I'm aware of how bad I look, but I have a story with this one. So I grew up in a really small town, and conservative values were basically the norm. But I need to explain to you just how bad PragerU is. Now, most of the stuff we were taught in school did have some leaning of the, traditionalism that is common in small American public schools. The Red Scare was at least somewhat justified and all that kind of stuff. But there's one point where I was taking a basic financial class. It was actually really good, and I recommend more high schools require it. Apparently we were kind of our own thing doing that, but we required this class. And we had a project on basic concepts in life that you go through and presenting them just in a basic way. I had, submitting complaints to the FTC, stuff like that. And one group was doing college financing and like, how should we in the modern day finance for college? Now, I can tell you that we will never be able to efficiently finance for college, but you can take steps to minimize the damage that can be done and make sure that when you go, you at least don't go flat broke. That's what I did. But these guys took a different stance. They talked about how college is a scam, you should never go, it's a waste of your time, and then at the end showed a PragerU video about it. And it talked about things about all these people getting useless degrees like women's studies and stuff like that. Pretty awful stuff, frankly. And my old Gen X ass teacher stood up after they were done and said, "Did you think that was useful? Did you think we needed to hear any of that?" And again, small town, conservative values, all this stuff. But PragerU was just that bad. It was that bad. And so it concerns me now that I see Florida pushing it as if it's the new curriculum to go based on. The video I stitched shows plenty of examples where PragerU just lies, and I think it's important to recognize that they're lying. And it's also important to recognize is that old school boomer-ass conservatives don't like them either. At least the somewhat educated ones.
Paradise of civilization, and the native people were far from peaceful.
They're going to start teaching this to Florida kids, a part of their curriculum, that we weren't peaceful when he came to our lands. But let me get this straight. He was lost and we helped him. Then he took advantage of us and murdered us, raped us, enslaved us, other countries too. This curriculum also talks about slavery and how it was also a good thing. Like, it benefits Black people now that they were enslaved. This gives them the platform to say what they've been dying to say. And that's that slavery and torture and stealing of land, colonialization, benefited them. They love it.
So
and it
this is
still
what I
benefits
got from
them.
the stitches. First of all, I am going to tell you all that there is a whole lot going on in Florida as it stands. And travel advisory has also been issued to Black people. Do not go to Florida. I will keep saying this till I am tired of saying it. Do not go to Florida. If you go to Florida, whatever you say, I don't know how to end, but please do not go to Florida. So back to this. It's really very crazy how someone that is not Black, let me start from that, a Black person is trying to tell Black people's story, or someone that got no experience about, like, this Prager, because he's the one behind all this PragerU. And then why were they contracted? Who contracted them? It is the Florida governor that contracted them to do this. Now, there is something that I noticed about all these people. Like, when they do something, especially when it comes to education, and it works in a particular state, trust me, another state is going to see, like, okay, it worked here, let's move to another place. No, we all know that I have really been, like, reporting things that are going on in Florida, and you all know how much they really do want to, like, they don't want to hear anything about Black history. CRT is no more, and Black history is violent. Florida is where woke goes broke, or where woke goes to die, or something like that. I mean, there are so many slogans I can tell you that comes out, like Florida talks about, especially when it comes to Black people. Now, Black people have been calling, especially Black women, they have been calling white women, most especially, to come out. Let's fight some certain things. Like I keep saying, one thing with these people is that they think it is only Black people that things are going to affect. I keep saying this here, that when they are done with Black people and they see, like, they don't see any other person they move over to them, right? So now it's been Black people, but then this rubbish, they are going to teach it to almost everybody, but Black kids and white kids. But then the truth is that they are completely lying, because all these things were not history, or all these things they are about to do or not the actual facts about history. They are turning the history upside down. Why? Because they are really scared about the things they have done, and they actually do not want their kids and the next generation to know how horrible, the horrible things they did to Black people, and how horrible slavery was, right? And it boils down to them, like everything is just centered that erase Black history. And that is what they are fighting on right now. That's why Prager also came up with the fact that slavery was beneficial. If it was beneficial, why did it not enter? Why was it not in the history from the onset? Why is it that after how many years that now they discovered or they remembered that something like that happened and all that? And now this is what they want to push to the kids to read. And then all I can say is that if you are in Florida and you are a Black person, I think the best thing you can do to your child is homeschooling. As it stands, these people really want to whitewash every damn thing about history. Not just whitewashing the history, they are also going to whitewash your kids' brain, because everything coming up from their school curriculum are lies. And they are going to feed all these lies to your kids, get them all confused. I mean, it's just so horrible how, it is amazing how, run the sun is 40-something years, it's 44 years. And it is crazy how a 40-something years old man is this evil. I wonder what is going to happen when he gets to 60 years. Trust me, it's going to really be. And all I can say is homeschooling got to be the best for your child. And if you are still living in Florida, I hope you are safe, and I hope you find a way out. But if there is no way out, that it happened that you're gonna be there, I just hope that you are safe and you do the right things, especially for your kids. And yeah, this is where I am gonna draw the curtain. And thank you so much for the support. See you all in my next video. Bye for now.